Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we had started the static part of economics and we have covered till microeconomics. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to cover the static part of economics, but we will cover some more aspects. Okay, so let's start this session. So in today's session we have one new word which is known as the market structure, right? Okay, but before understanding the market structure, we should understand what do you mean by market. If I'm asking you, okay, tell me about market, then what the first thought will come in your mind? You will think about any local area nearby you where various things are being sold and are being purchased. Okay, maybe it is in your locality, maybe it is in your mall, maybe it is some shop, and maybe it is some occasional buying and selling area. Buying and selling area. So these are the first thoughts which will come in your mind when I ask you what do you mean by market. Okay, but the question is somewhat typical than this simple one. The question is, why do we call these places as a market? And what was the reason behind this that these areas came in our mind first when I'm asking you what do you mean by the market? Okay, so basically for this we can say market is a place where different buyers and sellers are meet to do buying and selling. Got it? So market is basically a place where different buyers and sellers come together or are meet to do buy and selling. Okay, just take example of your local market, or you can say the vegetable market basically. So if you have ever visited the vegetable market, what you have noticed? You have noticed that you are the person who is going to buy the vegetable. So who you are? You are the buyer. You are the buyer. Okay. And there are the persons, or there is a person who is selling the vegetable. So who they are? They are the seller. Okay. So this is the common formula. One is the buyer and one is the seller. And then the place where you are meeting up is your vegetable market, where peoples like you are also there. It means that you are not the single one who's going to buy the things, but there are many people who have visited the place for the same purpose. Got it? So that place called as the market. Okay. So I think that now you have got a clear-cut idea of the market, a place where different buyers and sellers come together to buy and sell things. Okay. Now what about structure? Structure is basically the arrangement of things or order of rules and regulations. Okay. So basically structures defines the arrangement of things or order or rules of regulations. Okay. So when we talk about the market structure, then basically we are talking about organizational and competitive characteristics of a specific industry or market, describe how firms within an industry interact with each other, the degree of competition and the level of market power held by individual firms. Okay. So if I take you back to the previous session where I was telling you about the difference between the firm and the industry. Then now I'm asking you, tell me the difference between the industry and the firm. So are you able to do it? Let's check it. I'm providing you 15 seconds. You are required to think about the firm and industry in your mind. And then after 15 seconds, I will tell the answer. Okay. If the answer is correct, then congratulations. If the answer is not correct, do not worry. You will get a little reason of it. Okay. So your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sorry, 15 was the last time period. 15. Okay, time's up. So basically, the firm is a single unit of production. A firm is the single unit of production, and the industry is the group of firms. All right. So you can say, if we talk about the Samsung, then Samsung is a single unit of production which producing mobile sets of Samsung. Okay. But when we are talking about Samsung, Apple, Redmi, Micromax, when we're talking about all of them, then basically we are talking about mobile industry, because here we are not talking about any single firm. Got it? So it is a difference between the firm and the industry. Okay. So whenever we are talking about the market structure, then basically we are talking about the competition amongst the firms, how the things of buying and selling happen there, and is there any market share occupied by any individual firms. Okay. So now I thought that you have got a clear-cut understanding of market structure. Also, you have got a little bit revision of industry and firm. Now let's move forward. So the first market type we have the perfect competition. Then these are the characteristics of perfect competition, starting with the many buyers and sellers. So in perfect competition, there are huge numbers of buyers and sellers. Okay. And second thing is that there are homogeneous or identical products, or you can say same products. All right. Then thereafter, there is easy entry and exit for firms. It means that if there is a market or there is a firm called A, this firm can easily visit the market to sell his goods. If the firm occurs a losses, then easily this firm can leave the market. Okay. So this easy entry and exit for firms available in the perfect competition. Thereafter, fourth point is firms are price takers, meaning they have no control over prices. So what do you mean by this? Let me tell you. Let me tell you so that you will get it. Suppose you are the buyer and you have visited the market where there are various sellers. There are various sellers. Okay. So now you want to buy thing XY. They all are selling the same thing XY. Now, if we look at these people who are the sellers, then they have very limited option. It means that they have only you in this scenario. But if we look from your perspective, because you are the buyer, you have this many of options. Okay. Suppose if this person is not feasible for your budget. You are asking it for rupees 10, but he is asking rupees 15. Now you can easily visit him. Many options you have, but they do not have such options. Okay, so because there are many sellers, so that's why the firms are basically the price takers. They have to accept the common price or market price. Similarly, there are many buyers also. Okay, there are many buyers also. Okay, so you can say there is single price or similar price chargeable because of the many options of buyers and sellers. Okay, thereafter, second thing is because there is homogeneous products. You are not offering something different so that you may have edge over your competitors. You all are offering XY. Customer wants XY. You all are offering XY. Okay, so there is no difference in your goods and other competitors' goods. Okay, so that's why you cannot charge extra or you cannot manipulate the buyer. Okay. Thereafter, there is an easy entry and exit for firms. Firms could easily enter. It means the competitors could easily enter in the market. Thereafter, the competitors could easily exit the market. Okay. Examples of this type of market is agricultural market and stock markets. In agriculture markets, they are offering agricultural products or food grains. It means that if you have visited the market and you want a rice, there are many people who either buying rice or selling the rice. Okay, so it is a homogeneous products. Got it? Similarly, in stock markets, what do you mean by stock market? We will learn about in upcoming lectures. Till then, just remember it is an example of perfect market. So just write down it. Okay. Now let's move forward. Now we have monopoly. So what are the characteristics of monopoly market? So first is a single seller dominates the market. Second is unique product or service with no close substitutes. Okay. Thereafter, high barriers to entry such as patents or economies of scale. And third is the monopolist has significant control over prices. Now, let's understand these factors one by one. First, if we talk about the single seller, it means that there are many buyers. This one. Okay, but there is only one seller. Okay, so if we look from the seller's perspective or point of view, we will find that this seller having many options. But if we look from buyer's point of view, they have only limited option or only one option. So that's why there is a single seller who dominates the market. So he could make his own policies because the buyers who are willing to buy the goods and who having the needs of good has only single seller. Okay. Second point is unique product or service with no close substitutes. So it is somewhat self-understood. Like if there is a single person who is selling the good, so there is a condition that this product, like he is selling XY, people are asking for XY. So you can say the XY is unique product or XY is such type of product which having no close substitutes. That's why people have only one option. People have only one option to buy it from only one seller. Okay. Thereafter, there are high barriers to entry such as patents or economies of scale. Because there is a single seller and there is a huge demand. Okay. And remember what I have told you in the previous lecture. Like if there is high demand, the prices will be high. And if the prices will be high, the supply will be high. right? This thing I have told you. So if the supply is increasing, so it means there are many producers who are, it's the first condition, supplying the goods. Okay, so it means that if other producers are also able to produce XY, then they will also supply XY to the customers. So there will be not one seller only, but other seller also. So his dominancy will be end up. Okay. Second condition is patents or economies of scale. So basically, what do you mean by patents? First thing is, what do you mean by patents? So basically, you can say patent is a legal document to provide monopoly in production and marketing of certain goods. Okay, so patent is basically a legal document. Let's suppose this person generated a commodity XY and he wants to ensure that no one other than him is able to produce XY. Okay, so what he did, he patented the rights of XY. So it means that only this person is allowed to produce XY quantity. Okay, and if there is only one person who is produce XY quantity, so he will be the one who will supply XY to the customers. Okay, so that's why it will ensure his dominancy or monopoly. Third point is economies of scale. It means that only this person is able to produce XY in such a quantity that all these demands would be catered. Okay. Thereafter, the fourth point is the monopolist has significant control over prices. As I have told you, there is only one person who is producing or selling the good, but there are many people who are demanding the goods. So that's why he has the monopoly over the market. All right. Examples are local utilities, and the best example of it is Indian Railway. Indian Railways. Okay. So if there is a person who wants to travel somewhere from train, then he has to buy a ticket from Indian Railways only, because of Indian Railway is the single entity which manages the railway transportation in India. So it is the some kind of monopoly. Thereafter, some pharmaceutical companies who invented some medicines and then purchased their patent rights. All right. Thereafter, now we have the monopolistic competition. Okay, monopolistic competition. So basically, monopolistic is a market form where there are somewhat monopoly or influence. So first write down this point, then I will connect this point with this topic. Where there are somewhat monopoly or influence, then it is a condition of monopoly. And why I am saying this? Because of these points. Okay. First is many firms in the market. Second is differentiated products with slight differences. Relativity easy entry and exit. Firms have some control over prices due to product differentiation. Now let's take an example of it. So basically in this market form, there are many firms in the market, but unlike the perfect competition where there are almost homogeneous products, their products are differentiated. Just take an example. Samsung, Micromax, Lava, Apple, Redmi, Oppo. What they are? They all are the manufacturers of mobile. Okay. So if there is a person who wants to buy a mobile, so he has to deal with these persons. So he has how many options? There are numerous of options of the mobile. But how the monopoly and control comes here? Because all these mobiles having their market value or brand value. These companies doing their marketing to build their market value or brand value in the consumer's mind. Okay. So if this person is going to buy a mobile, so he will prefer to buy a mobile of this company about which he is influenced. Okay. So that's how the monopoly comes here. Okay. If the company who is able to influence many and many people will get more and more buyers in comparison of other companies which haven't. Okay. Second thing is differentiated products. Like Samsung is offering storage of 128 with 6.8 inches. Micromax is offering 5 inches. Similar things will go on with Lava, Apple, Redmi, Oppo. They all are selling the mobiles, but the characteristics of their mobiles are different. Okay. Thereafter, there is a relatively easy entry and exit, like the perfect competition. Firms have some control over prices due to product differentiation. Like, just take an example. Suppose there is company A and there is company B. Okay. Company A is selling phone with 128 GB storage, 8 GB RAM, okay, 50 megapixel camera, 6 inches of screen. And there is company B, which is offering 80 GB storage, thereafter 6 GB RAM, 4 inches display, 20 megapixel camera. Okay. So this company may charge rupees 20,000. Just take an example. And this company may only charge rupees 12,000. So they having their price control because of their differentiation in products. Some other examples of monopolistic control is related retail units, restaurants, and the clothings. Got it? Now let's move forward. Now we have oligopoly. What are the characteristics of oligopoly? First is a small number of large firms dominate the market. Products may be homogeneous or differentiated. High barriers to entry. Firms often engage in strategic interactions such as price wars or collusion. So basically, in oligopoly, there are only few firms like this firm A, B, C, which are dominating the market. And if I would like to tell you about it, then I will take example of automobiles. So if you look at the automobiles, then we have only certain companies which dominate the market, like Tata, like Mahindra, like Audi, BMW, okay, Mercedes, MG, and some other brands also. Okay, so these are limited in number and these are dominating the market. Okay, the products may be homogeneous or differentiated. Basically, what they are all making? They all are making cars. They all are making cars, but their cars are differentiated. Their cars are differentiated on the basis of characteristics. Like Tata Safari is different to the MG Hector. Okay. Also, there are various other examples of it. Okay. There are high barriers to entry because huge capital required and large scale competition. Because of the huge capital requirement and the large scale competition, there is difficult entry to the oligopoly market. Fourth point is firms often engage in strategic interaction such as price war or collusion. So what do you mean by it? What do you mean by it? So basically, so how there could be a price war or collusion? Because there are small number of large firms who are competing in the market or who are dominating the market. So suppose if there is a firm A which lower down 50% prices of its automobiles. Similarly, the other firms will do it. They will also try to lower down their prices by 50% in order to compete with the firm A. Then what will happen? After some time, their production cost will be high, but their profit will not. Okay, their production cost will be high, but their profit will not, because they both are competing with each other. They all are lowering their prices in a competition, or you can say in a price war, but it is harmful for them because it requires a large capital in or during the automobiles production or the telecommunication production. Okay, so that's why they use strategic interactions. They mutually decided the prices and then they try to avoid by this. Okay, now let's move forward. Thereafter, we have the duopoly. So it is a specific type of oligopoly with only two dominant firms in test competition between two firms. So in duopoly, there is only two dominant firms. For example, like you have taken example of Boeing and Airbus. Boeing is a American company. Airbus is a French company. Okay. Now they both are manufacturing the commercial aircraft. So there will be a competition between Boeing and Airbus. But also they have to do their strategic management so that their production cost should be in accordance with their profit. Okay. Thereafter, the monopoly. This is basically related with the buyer. This is basically related with the buyer, where there is a single buyer which dominates the market. Many sellers are there, but buyer is only one. The best example of it is large retailers like Walmart. Alright. Thereafter, there is a bilateral monopoly. Both a single buyer and a single seller exist in the market. Okay. Price negotiation often occurs between the two dominant players, and the last, you can say last name, not last, but the best example of it is labor union negotiated with the employers. Okay. So you can say in bilateral monopoly, there is only single buyer and there is only single seller. Okay. So they both have only limited options. Okay. Like the labor unions, in which they are the seller to sell their services and the employers who are the buyers to buy their services. Now they both having very little options. So this is a condition of bilateral monopoly. All right. Then thereafter, there is a natural monopoly. Type of monopoly where a single firm can produce goods and services at a lower cost than multiple firms, typically regulated to prevent price gouging. Okay. So suppose if there is a firm XYZ which is able to produce the goods and services in low prices, just suppose rupees 50, but the other firms like A, B, C, D, E, all these firms are not able to produce the price things in this cost, and they all are producing in rupees 100 or more. Then people will go to XYZ, not with these firms. So this establish natural monopoly. Okay. So students, in this lecture, we have covered the market structure of static GK, or you can say static economics. In the next lecture, we will proceed with some other phenomena. Okay. Till then, just revise all the facts so that you can get a better revision. Okay. With this note, let's end the session and thank you.